What are they known for? What are they known for? I'm going to give you a name of a person or a company, and I want you to tell me what they're known for. This is an out loud activity, so I invite you to play along, all right? What are they known for? Kodak. Cameras, camera films. How about Neil Armstrong? Walking on the moon. Xerox? Amelia Earhart. That mysterious light, right? How about Hank Aaron? Home runs even. Colgate? Thomas Edison? Orville Redenbacher. Well, you see the point. All those people obviously did many things throughout their lifetime, but they will always be remembered for that one thing. Light bulb. Popcorn. And at the same time, those companies, well, they might have done lots of diverse things in their businesses, but this is the product we most know them for, toothpaste. That's what they're known for. So what is the church known for? The church, God's people throughout the world who gather in communities of worship. What are they known for? What does the world think of the church? If you only knew what you read in the paper or saw in the headlines, you'd probably know that the church has its scandals. It's known for its infighting or its political posturing, and occasionally for its good works of service for others. But if you ask the average man or woman on the street, someone who isn't connected with the church, ask them, what do they think about churches? They might say, hypocrites, right? Stuck up, unwelcoming. They think they're better than everybody else. That may not necessarily be true here in Lexington County, where church is still held in pretty high esteem, though even that is changing. But in many places, more and more, we live in an increasingly post-Christian age, where all the cultural supports that once assured privileged status for the church are going away. These days, not everyone grew up Christian. Not everyone thinks church or being a part of a church is important. Not everyone knows what church is and what our life here is all about. What do we want them to know about us? Well, Jesus has an answer. He gives the answer to his disciples in John chapter 13, saying, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Jesus says it 3 times. Love one another. Now, Jesus said this to the disciples in the night he was betrayed. This story is before Easter, in that last day before Jesus was handed over. Jesus had gathered with his disciples for a final meal and final instructions. For Jesus knew that the disciples would soon be going on without him. With the help of the Spirit, they would be seeking to live as the community of Christ. So what kind of community will they be? What will be their purpose, their way? What will they be known for? Jesus says, love one another. By this, everyone will know. Love one another. It's not the sappy kind of love you hear too much on the radio or read about in the greeting cards. The love Jesus is talking about is the kind of love that cares for each other, the kind that gives for the sake of each other, even the kind that sacrifices for one another. It's the very kind of love Jesus lived and showed to those near him. And the community that continues in his name is to have that kind of love. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. Not by the fancy prayers you say, not by the shiny signs out front, not the stances you take on big issues or the money you give to big causes, but by this, your love for one another. So what would that be like? What would it be like for people who do not know the church, who aren't among the disciples of Jesus, but who nevertheless say, I don't know much about those Christians, but I do know this. They are the ones who love each other. Can you imagine them saying that about us? They're the ones who love each other. What is this church known for? Zion Lutheran Church. What is it known for? Oh, they're the church who, how would those around us fill in that blank? That's a dangerous question, huh? But what is this church known for? Would they say that's the church who is on Corley Mill Road near the new high school? Or that's the church where I pull into the parking lot to make phone calls? Or they're the ones who have that Easter sunrise service? Or who host overtime? Or who do the Thanksgiving meal? The ones who have nice worship, good fellowship, heartfelt service. Well, all those things are true about us in some way. Well, what would it take? What would it mean for others to say, Zion Lutheran Church, they're the ones who love one another? That's what the words of Jesus challenge us to consider today. Jesus gives a commandment, a new commandment, that his disciples, his church, all of us should love one another. It's a challenge, a commandment that gets lived out, fleshed out as our lives come into contact with each other in our worship, our fellowship, our service, in the intertwining of relationships and stories, in handshakes and the peace and the conversations around tables and sleeves rolled up and put to work. In all these ways, God is inviting us to love one another, people of Zion. Who is this God? What is this God known for? He is the one who loves. And by his gracious call and the power of his Spirit, God invites us to live in and to share this love to, so that they will know. Amen.
Amen.